Hey guys, welcome back to BachMakers, your favorite show that recaps all things Bachelor Nation. Before we continue with this episode, we're going to ask you very nicely, Michael, please deliver the news.
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And share.
In that order, or reverse the order. It doesn't matter to us. Just do those things. Helps us. Enjoy this episode. We'll see you in the episode. Just keep watching. All right. Bye. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to BachMakers, presented by Good Time Media. I'm Wyatt. That's Michael. The Golden Bachelorette is here. Night 1, limo entrances for Joan's season. Mike, we were just talking pre-show. Just sad. Just sad.
Sad but wholesome. That's the best way to put the episode, and I think best way to put the whole season.
It's happy tears. So many tears. So many people were crying. I was one of them. There's so much emotion here. It felt like a therapy session for just as the viewer. I feel like I was getting something out of this as a 24-year-old single man.
It really gives you peace, you know. I was just like, wow, these people have experienced so much in life, which is a complete 180 from the last Bachelorette. Not nothing against Jen and the cast, but like they objectively have not seen as much as life with these people. And I don't know, they want to not be lonely so bad, and it's just so sad.
It's so insane that we just went from 2 weeks ago, very recently, talking about a former winner of the season for the Bachelorette having a restraining order and having an arrest record.
Yep.
And then we watched just this wholesome moment of just dads and grandpas wanting to find love, and that's this franchise for you. It keeps you on your toes. Do we want to start with some quotes of the week? I have 2 written down.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I've okay, you go.
I have one from Jack. I think we probably both have.
Dude, Jack was just all over the place.
Jack's awesome.
I just wrote down Jack in general. You go first.
Okay, Jack was talking about Pascal. We discovered it was Pascal. He said he talks like he's from France. It's just a weird way to say he's a French accent. I talk like I'm from Chicago, which ain't so great, which was really funny to me.
Because he talks like he's from France, and I talk from South Chicago, not so good.
Yeah, he's actually from Indiana. Fun fact.
Jack is?
He's from a suburb of Chicago. That's like pretty much Chicago.
Oh, it's the region
on the Indiana side. Yeah.
All right. I like Jack more then. What'd you got?
My first one was so when they did the little after they introduced some of the people, they had the like videos of them at home and getting ready for the show and stuff. And Kim's the boat guy, right? He was on his sailboat, and it just reminded me of like a classic like dad sending a video to his kids, like just a very wholesome moment. He was just like, beautiful place, great for boating.
Beautiful, great for boating.
And it was just like cut after that. And I was like, that was such a dad line. And it was just him alone on his sailboat. I was like,
Kim has a sailboat. That's what we know about him. Has a sailboat.
Yeah. And was wearing a captain's hat night 1. Not surprised. I should grab my captain's hat and wear it. But yeah, not surprised. You go.
Yeah, Kim. It's just what's that commercial? That's that commercial series where they make fun of dads? Is it Progressive?
Yeah, Progressive. Because then one's at Progressive Field.
Okay, because they could just clip this show and use it for commercials. There needs to be some kind of overlap between that commercial series and this show, because there's so many dad moments, like where it's only a dad could do this. So maybe that's something down the line we can see. Another quote I had was from RJ. It's when they're doing the pickleball back and forth. And RJ just says, apparently you guys have really good insurance.
Apparently you guys have really good insurance.
Yeah.
Surprised no one got hurt there, thankfully, but RJ was playing it safe.
That could have been the guy torn MCL. I would not have been surprised, honestly. I would not. but we did see in the preview some baseball. Calling it now. That's the MCL or
Oh, like
meniscus.
kickball? I think it was kickball.
Oh, I thought it was like slow pitch softball. Oh, maybe kickball would make sense. Yeah, but still,
Yeah.
that's meniscus season right there. My second quote of the day was from Charles. We love Charles, instant sweetheart. And it was just he was just like, and I think she likes me. He said it so soft,
so
so
sweet.
sweet.
She looks so beautiful. I'm pretty happy, and I think she likes me.
See you in there.
I was like, Charles, we love you. You have already stole America's heart. I went on TikTok during one of the commercials. It's already flooded with Charles love,
Good.
and I'm not surprised.
Good. I love him so much. I'm so glad he sticks around for at least one more week. There was a moment. The hardest I almost cried was there was a moment in the season preview where they were like lifting Charles up. I think it was after the kickball or softball, whatever it is. And they were lifting him up. It was so wholesome, and he was smiling so big, and it made me so happy.
Kind of like in Kicking and Screaming.
Yeah, Byung-sun.
Yeah, Byung-sun. They're picking him up. I'm excited for that.
Yeah. Also, Charles' daughter. What's up?
Yeah. No,
What's up?
I saw that one coming.
There's going to be a lot of that this season. I apologize. Hand up. I apologize. But if they can find love on this show, we can find love on our show.
Fair. And while we're talking about Charles, when he was going through the house and he was like, I knew it was in a mansion, but I didn't know it was going to be this pretty. He was so just like taking it all in. I was like, this is great.
See? Beyond my imagination. Oh boy, they have a humongous refrigerator. Oh, lots of meat. Everything. Sure, before I came, I heard the word mansion, but I never thought it would be like this. It's just magnificent. They have a fireplace, wow.
They just had a camera of him following, looking around in the house. Nice. Great.
He was just so happy to be there. Him and Jack just cooking up in the kitchen. That kitchen has never been used.
Yeah,
like on night one. I'm sure they used it.
Retired professional chef.
Yeah, and Jack's like, you know what? Let me go to town here. And Charles was more than game to just help out. I love it so much.
Yeah.
All right, the opening, they ripped our heart out right away. Give the whole backstory with Joan, her late husband. Right off the bat sets the tone. I think they did this for Gary as well. It's just, oh yeah, this is a real person, and I'm gonna cry, and this is sad. Great opening montage. Great, set the tone, and then they just real quick vibe change. Let's do some intros. First intro we got Pascal.
Yeah.
I was not expecting full French accent. That was huge.
I mean, his English was obviously very. He said he's been in Chicago since he was 22 or 23. So like,
yeah,
he's been. It's crazy how thick his accent is for being over here for 2/3 of his life. Kind of wild, but I guess that's how accents work. I don't really know.
Sidebar: I don't remember what Pascal's punishment is from last episode. We're gonna change it. If Pascal wins, we have to go
to a salon.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
we should go
to a salon anyway.
Yeah,
we should go to a salon anyway and do a spa day.
Next time I'm in Chicago, we'll find Pascal's salon and we'll go.
I bet we could find it right now, but I'll check it.
Yeah, we'll get it. That would be great. He's so cool. I think it's gonna rub people the wrong way. Early villain vibes from him.
That's what my roommate was saying too. I didn't see that at all. I
think he's confident, and I think it's gonna come across as cocky.
Okay, I thought he was just like, I don't know. I thought the accent was just different. If anything, I kind of saw an early villain vibe from your guy.
Guy?
No.
Jock?
No. Crap.
I have a lot of guys.
Name?
CK?
No, not CK.
RJ? No, he's gone. Christopher?
Jonathan.
Oh.
Jonathan. Okay. Because I don't know, his conversation went well with Joan, and then he kind of told some people about it, just like casually. And then he was kind of like the first impression rose was on the table, and he was kind of like sniffing it or
That
whatever.
was weird.
And I was like, if I'm seeing that, I'm like, I don't know. I could see it. That's all I'm saying. I could
Okay.
see villain vibes.
My two villain early picks would be Pascal and Jack, simply because
Jack's talkative.
he's loud, he's talkative, and there was a clip in the preseason or the preview of him just doing cannonballs. I hope that was a joke because he was like,
Oh,
I think he's here just for the cannonballs.
The cannonballs.
Like I think
Yeah.
you should leave. I hope that's real. I hope he's just doing cannonballs 24/7.
Yeah, that's fire. I don't think Jack. I think the producers just like Jack because his voice is so funny. Like he's got a funny voice. Like I don't. It's in a Chicago accent, but like also it's kind of just like a weird kind of tone to it.
Yeah.
And so I think the producers just probably love his interviews. So
Oh, he was a producer pick for sure. Being the last rose, knowing how night one usually goes, Joan probably picked like 8 guys, 10 guys, and then the rest were producer people. Guarantee you Jack was producer pick.
I'll bet Charles was too.
Oh, 100%. 100%, which I'm fine with. Keep picking them. Keep Charles on my screen as long as humanly possible. Other intros we had, a lot of them were very nervous, which was wholesome to see, including my number 1 overall pick, Jordan, who I think redeemed himself pretty well. Gary, not nervous. Notably not nervous. He rocked.
Hakeem.
He's Hakeem.
Hakeem vibes for sure. It was life of the party. Kind of made some good jokes in his interviews with the producers. Yeah, I mean, and then he got emotional too. And then made the joke about it. Yeah, it was great. I hope he's there for.
He had the laugh after the horse ran away. It just cut to him, and he laughed for like 8 seconds.
Thank you for being here.
And I was like, I love him. I love this guy. He's got a great laugh, great personality. Awesome.
He's great.
Greg on your team, who I notably don't like because of the double G at the end of his name.
True.
Interesting suit. Interesting piece today. He had like the black vest.
Pulled it off.
He pulled it off. I wrote down, I said, Greg looks like he orchestrated a fancy dinner where it ends up being a murder mystery. Because he kept in his interview, he leaned back, crossed his legs, and be like, all these guys here. Interesting. I wonder how this will go. It seems like he was one step ahead of everybody. Like he planned some kind of, I think someone's going to die, and then he's just going to, or like they're going to hunt somebody for sport. Like he looks like that kind of guy. Like he hunts people for sport.
Yeah, I do want to talk about 2 specific intros. Chalk's walk up with the chicken noodle soup, and then I think it was, Christopher's with the prune juice.
Yeah, prune juice shot.
Yeah, plum juice, whatever. Out of all things to like do like drink wise or eat, that's kind of wild. Like those 2 flavors are very unique tastes, and Joan's gonna have that in her mouth the rest of the night. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I thought that was pretty wild, but obviously some freaking dub Riz with the chicken noodle soup for the number 1 overall pick, because she liked it. So
speaking of drinks, hot, speaking of drinks, I didn't see Bob with the martini.
I didn't see anybody with martini though. I saw a lot of people drinking whiskey neat though.
Yeah, those are our boys. Come on.
And I was like, yeah, these guys are mature.
Let's keep an eye out. We'll be on Bob Martini watch because there's no way he goes multiple dates without his martini. So we'll keep an eye on him. Other intros I liked. CK, he did his. I thought he was gonna do the full Willy Wonka intro where he came out with the cane.
Yeah.
If he did a full somersault just like Willy Wonka did, he might have been my favorite intro. He did do the 1-arm push-up, which was almost a little too much. It's like, we get it, you're in great shape, but I wanted to see the full Willy Wonka thing, but that's all right. I'll take it.
Like, we get it. Your grandson's Rondé Barber Part 2.
Yeah. Do we get it? Your grandson's a Hall of Famer. The worst intro I think by far that we saw was Dan.
Jack.
What was Jack's?
Frank Sinatra.
Oh, I mean that was bad, but like, Didn't really play, but it is what it is. Dan's was just goofy and bad. He had the glasses and he put it down. And he said, "Dang, look at you, girl." Like that was it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like what was the
I
bit there?
I think that's it. I literally don't know what I'm gonna do. Somebody give me anything, and he just used the first thing that came up. Um, but I think Dan. I mean, he was crying left and right
Hmm.
tonight. He was, his daughters. He was really sad to leave them. But hey, girl dads. There's a lot of girl dads. A lot of girl
Yes.
dads, which makes sense because Joan's also a girl mom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe she has a son too. I
I think
think maybe.
I don't know.
Shaylise has 2 daughters.
Yes.
So
And then the only other intro I really wrote down was RJ. Shout out to his kids for teaching him the TikTok because he was like 6'5", finance, blue eyes. Like, there's no way he knew what that was.
yeah, and he brought flowers too. Got
Yeah.
sent home.
That
I was.
sucks.
He deserves better. RJ deserves better. He will be receiving a DM for a date with Angela Bailey.
That's the consolation prize. If you get kicked off the show, you will be receiving an invite to date Michael's mom.
There you go.
It's the new competition we're gonna be running. All right. Any other intros you want to talk about before we kind of get into the mansion part of it?
No.
Can we talk about Bob? Let's go back to Bob for a second. He dropped an important piece of lore
Mhm.
during his talk with Joan. He got struck by lightning and died.
Well, you didn't die.
That was his words. He said, "Drop dead," and then he paused, and then he said, after a few minutes, "Back to life." That's crazy.
My kid how to surf. And one bolt of lightning comes down and takes me out dead.
That is nuts.
So they did CPR on me for about 12 minutes
Oh, jeez.
before they finally got a pulse.
Oh, my Lord. That's insane.
Yeah, but that also could be cap. That's a weird thing to lie about, but it could be. Could be.
Too many martinis, Bob. He's forgetting things.
Yeah.
He's making stuff up.
Maybe he's just an alcoholic. He just lies a lot, and he's like something, and he forgets truth from reality from his dreams.
He didn't
He's
catch me as
alcoholic
the
slumber.
surfing type, so maybe he made it all up.
Yeah.
So this is a weird hill for us to die on. But like, you know what? Bob's making it up. Didn't get struck by lightning.
Yeah, and the camera, while we're back to Bob, the camera intro I thought was not like weird, but like I don't know.
Yeah, it
the
felt
whole,
like the intro to like a found
hey
footage
kids.
murder.
Yeah, like a murder documentary or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, hey kids, we're here at the Bachelor Mansion, and he's like showing Joan, and Joan probably just got another camera in her face. She's like,
And then it cuts to like the police watching the footage like 2 hours after they found Joan dead, and they're like, "This is the last known footage of Joan."
yeah.
The other thing I wrote down, Jonathan, he had a nice little poem for Joan. As the poem king, decent, 5 out of 10. Oh, I wasn't too impressed. Wasn't great.
What I wrote down about that scene with the poem, whoever the camera guy was, what was he on? Honestly,
They had the big
worst
structure.
piece-
This big structure was right there.
They had the worst piece of camera work I've ever seen. Like they were just not showing, like it wasn't
Okay,
centered.
there was a
And
big
then he was
light
trying to
structure.
stand up. I don't care.
He was
I don't
standing
care.
in front of it.
No, the cameraman was just like not doing his job that scene. So whatever ABC intern, you
You fired.
fire.
You fired.
You fired.
You fired. Yeah, I mean the poem. It could be better. Again, people
This
know
kid though,
who listen to my poems.
from his
Every-
heart though.
You're right. Mine.
You write yours down.
I mean, I usually have 1 week to prep mine. He had months to prep his.
Maybe.
Something to think about. Just
Okay.
again, I'll remember that if Jonathan makes it to poem, which is fantasy suite. So people who are new to the show, I'll write poems for everyone who makes fantasy suites when they get eliminated to say goodbye to them. I'll keep that in mind for Jonathan. And then now we get our first impression rose, which goes to someone on your team, correct, Keith?
Yeah, Keith.
Which
Girl dad.
should we do team updates real quick right now? I have it pulled up.
Yeah.
So, Bailey's Boomers, you have 8 points. You lost
Yeah.
4 boomers. You lost
Yeah.
Bill. You lost Pablo, Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy. Good no pick by us, I guess. RJ and Thomas all go home.
Yeah.
What
I
are
mean,
the strengths of your team?
we lost 4 to you losing 2, which sucks. But I feel like 6 of the 8 we have are really solid guys, and I'm looking at like I think we got 6 in the top 10 for sure. So I think we got guys that are gonna stay. We got contenders. We saw in the preview her saying "I love you" to Mark. I don't know if
Yeah,
you heard
that
that.
felt weird. That felt like a
That felt
weird editing moment.
thing, yeah. But they kissed, so that means they got to be somewhat far. I don't think that's gonna come too easily. Um, so I don't know. I think we got guys. And Keith, first impression Rose, that talk went well. Chalk's
Mhm.
talk went well. So we got guys. We got guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's anyone's race still. It's not a clear night one. Someone pulled ahead. I got 10 points. I lost 2. I lost Ken and David. Ken surprised me, but then I remember he came out. He's kind of short king.
Short King.
It's tough look. Lost those 2. May they find love elsewhere, hopefully. But yeah, I feel good about my team. Obviously, I think Charles L and Gary were the 2 I was worried about, and they both clutched up. They did what they needed to do. Be in the locker room. I think they will affect the culture of the team, and they will let the rest go on pretty far. Feel good about Jordan. He was a little nervous. Pascal is he's gonna stick around, but
Mhm.
I don't think he's gonna win. I think he's gonna be a villain type situation, but we'll see. But yeah, that's how update. Let's go back to Keith though. First impression, Rose. What do you think about Keith? Because could this be one and done? Be like, hey, get that Rose and then just kind of smooth sail to the end.
I don't think it's smooth sail to the end. I mean, he definitely seems confident. He seems like they could blend well together. He's 6'5" too. The dude's a fucking giant. And she described him as a teddy bear. And I think she likes that. And she's definitely going for that. So I don't know. I definitely think he's got the first impression, so that definitely makes him, at least if you want to call it, a front runner right now. I think that's what you could, put him as.
Yeah.
But yeah, he seemed like a really cool guy, and I think their conversation like flowed really well, more than I think any other conversation besides maybe Jonathan on your team.
Yeah, I like Jonathan. Poems could use some work, but other than that, feel pretty good. I did love him getting the first impression Rose, and then they just had like a handshake line. After
Yeah,
that, he went in. He's like, "Hey, good game, good game, good game. Way to go, way to go." They're all hyping each other up. That's what I love about the golden parts of these franchise. They just hype each other up. They're all so supportive, and it's so wholesome. I love to see it.
yeah, they were. Everybody's just so happy for each other, which is
Yeah.
great. I feel like even the guys that went home night one are still like going to be going golfing with the guys.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're still just boys, and they're probably talking so much shop, so much business.
Oh.
When they weren't talking to Joan that one.
Yeah, and I think that's the beautiful part about it is, I mean, at that again, what do we know as 24-year-olds? But I feel like at that stage in life, like the companionship is everything. They
Mhm.
get that with the boys. So like
Yeah.
win Joan or not, win Joan's heart or not, they're leaving out or they're leaving this show with 20 new best pals and like
Yeah.
guys they can hang out with. And I think that is so cool. That's awesome. And obviously you get that in the other parts of the franchise, but it means a little less when they're 25, 26, 27. Like these guys are just like, hey, it's very rare they go out and meet 20 new people. And
Mm.
now they get new friends, which is really fun. What did you think of them doing intros throughout the episode? Because I loved it. Have you noticed they did that? So they would like Chalk would go talk to her,
Yeah.
and then they did his intro package during that. I kind of loved it.
Yeah, I like that, and I hope they even do that continuing into episode 2 or 3 with the people that kind of didn't get that much of a intro and background, like Michael,
Mm-hmm.
my guy. Like I hope they do that for the next even 2 episodes. You could do that. You got time. You got a lot of people still. There's still how many people left? Still
So you lost 4, I lost 2.
18.
18, yeah.
18 people left. Like there's still 18 people left. Like, and a lot more people to dive deeper
Yeah.
about.
Then we had the son and daughter and family montage after that. That killed me. That one got
Yeah.
me. Watching
Yeah.
them cry, watching that, watching like the grandson say, "Oh, Gary's grandson saying something."
What I thought about that, I was like, well, they have to show a family member from everybody.
Everybody.
Like everybody's got to be shown. And then I'm thinking, if you're the family member and you like send in your clip, and then you're watching the episode and it doesn't get aired, that must be such a killer.
Oh, I'd be pissed.
I'd be like, damn, well, that was all for nothing. But it was really cool. I think it was Gary's grandson
Mm-hmm.
that was blowing him the kiss.
Oh.
That was
Dude, watching these grown men cry and seeing their family and just like talking so lovingly about their family too.
yeah.
It was like, oh, like when my grandsons run to me, I was like, oh, this is so like how can you watch that and just not feel total just love for all these dudes? They're the best. We're gonna say wholesome a billion times in this during these recaps, and I won't apologize for it because that's what it is. Then we get to the rose ceremony. I want to point
Mhm.
out them stretching when Joan left was
Yeah.
so fucking funny.
Yeah, and Gil is saying like, normally I'd be waking up in about an hour from now in New York to go to work. And I'm just like, damn, that really goes to show you that it's probably like 3 a.m., 4 a.m.
So
LA
past this guy's
time.
bedtime, yeah.
And that must have been the longest day of their lives,
Oh
honestly.
my gosh, yeah.
That night must have been the longest night of their lives, actually.
Yeah.
Um,
Out
it's
of the 6 that went home, who surprised you the most? I can read them off to you if you want.
No, I got him. RJ for sure. I didn't think RJ was going home. I thought he had a good intro. He brought her flowers, 6'5", really. Yeah, I thought that was tough. Bill, I wasn't surprised about. David wasn't really surprised about. Pablo, Thomas got like no screen time, like
None.
actually no screen
Yeah.
time. I don't even. Did they even show his walk up? I don't
I
think
don't
so.
even
Maybe
remember.
it was one of the quick ones, but that was tough. He was fire chief, owned the one like bakery or whatever. I was like, oh, this guy's cool. Nothing. That's tough. And then Ken, short king.
Ken, short king. David, I feel like
He got some screen time.
yeah. I wasn't like shocked, but it felt like he could have stuck around. And then let's talk Final Four. Who would we have? Initial reactions.
So I'm gonna leave Mark out of this, just
Okay.
because I still don't know where I stand with that.
I don't know what's gonna happen with him.
So I picked 2 from your team and 2 from my team that I would like. All right, this is it. Jonathan, Jordan from your team,
Okay.
and Keith and Chalk from my team. Just off.
Yeah, Keith and
strictly
Chalk.
night one.
Keith and Chalk feel like Final Four for sure. I'll stick with those from your team as well. You're right. Mark is such a wild card because I think we both thought going into this that, all right, he'll stick around for a couple of weeks and go home. The preview snuck up on me. I was like, wait a second. And then Mark also echoed a lot of the lines that Joan said about like, my heart is, there's always going to be a part of my heart that's with like my ex-wife or my ex-husband.
Yeah.
But
sure.
I have a big heart. There's room. And he said almost the exact same verbiage that Joan used. I was like, oh, interesting. Maybe this could actually work. What if it is Mark?
If it is, and they really did that, where they were both sitting far, like kind of apart from each other at the live finale. Props to ABC.
Yeah.
Props to ABC.
Yeah. I think a lot of people will. We know this world. We know how Bachelor Nation works. People are gonna call it fake. They're gonna say this is so staged if it ends up being Mark. So that makes me think producers would work hard for it like not to be him.
Yeah, I do want to make a prediction now.
Okay.
Whoever she ends up with, ABC at the live finale will be sending her on a safari. And if ABC you haven't thought of what you're doing for that yet, there's a layup. She literally said that night one.
Mhm.
So you're welcome, ABC.
Yeah.
let us
And
have somebody on the
the
podcast.
finale is going to be interesting because they'll probably bring Jen back out and make her watch the engagement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, her Devin's engagement again.
And then they'll give Charity and Dotton another trip somewhere. That should just be a running bit where
Or if whenever Jen gets sent home in Dancing with the Stars, they bring Jen out, make her watch her getting sent home on Dancing with the Stars. They're like, all right, you're done. Go back into your cage.
Can you imagine if they just that would be the funniest bit of all time. They're like every finale for the rest of this Bachelor franchise, they like bring Jen out and make her watch her engagement to Devin. They just play
Yeah.
into it. I think that's the only way you save face here, ABC. I think you play into the bit and you just say, you know what, we're gonna run with it. We're gonna keep watching it. We're just gonna show it over and over and over again until it's not funny anymore because it'll be funny for a little bit. I would laugh every time.
Oh yeah.
All right. Where were we? My final four? Did I say that yet?
No.
I'm gonna go chalk. I'm gonna go. I don't know why I feel like Keith might fizzle out,
Fair.
but I don't see anyone who would take his spot, so I will say Keith. I'll say Keith, chalk, Jordan. No, I don't think Jordan will. Maybe he will. I'll say Jonathan and Guy. I like Guy. He was crying hard at that rose ceremony
Yeah.
at the end.
He was really nervous. You could tell he was really nervous.
Yeah. I think he'll loosen up. So I'm going to go those four.
Fair.
We'll keep an eye on that. All right. And then last but not least, anything? Do you have any other notes before we do a little hot seat? See who's going home?
No.
Okay. Who do we think? Who's on the hot seat? And don't say Charles L. I'll kill you.
No, I was gonna say Jack.
I don't think so. You think Jack might go?
I'll say Gil. I'll say Gil. And Jack. I think Jack's on the hot seat too. I think that cannonball is literally from next episode. There's a pool party.
I think next episode's going to be the kickball.
It could be both.
Could be both.
It could be he's not on that group date, and so he's back at the pool doing cannonballs with the other boys that aren't on the group date.
I think Michael's on my hot seat. I feel like he snuck through this episode. I don't think there's a lot there. I don't think there's a lot of substance there.
Also, Christopher from my team. He kind of snuck too.
Best profile pick, though. Great profile pick.
And he is kind of a short king, though. He's shorter than Joan.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Christopher, no.
Tough.
So he might be on the hot seat too.
All right. Well, that was a successful first episode. We met our cast. It's always just a kind of a whirlwind meeting all of them. We still don't know much about them, and we'll get to know more of them as we continue through the season. We will keep an eye out for Guy tearing his meniscus because we do know that happens at some point during this season. And we'll be back next week to recap all things Golden Bachelor. Also, stay tuned. Next Monday, we will be dropping an interview that we had with Sean about everything. His experience on charity season of The Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise Season 9, and all those good stuff. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. Anything else, Mike?
No.
All right. See you guys next week. Peace.